whole aspect of the hurricane season, bro, is one of those things that that individuals who are looking at this time of the year, sometimes are just so fearful. Are just so
Absolutely.
fearful. You know, we forgot. Well, I wouldn't want to say that we forget, but we serve a God who is able,
Absolutely.
a God who is in control.
So
You
that's what's going to
know,
make this weather initiative so different from the rest because we
uh,
believe in a
uh,
big God.
yeah, a big God. And the thing about it is, what I think it was 2 Sabbaths ago when I was doing my initial studies, just the Sabbath studies, etc. I went back into the Genesis creation, and I said to myself, let me understand something in terms of the creation and how God put together this thing. And when we read that God made the firmament and he separated the waters below and the waters from above. But brother, let me tell you how big that is. That is the huge food to sustain rain and clouds, etc. It has to be that God had it in plan, that he put it in such a way that the waters above separated the waters beneath, and the waters that are on the surface right now are the seas, but then the atmospheric moisture. If I start to go into the dynamics of atmospheric moisture and the implications to these things, then you'll understand why we serve a good God, a big God. And the fact of the matter is, let me just say it in 1 minute, that when I read that God slept on the boat while he was going across the lake and a storm brewed, and he said unto the storm, peace be still. And the other one was the other extreme, was that he created the storm with the fish and the belly to disturb the waters for Jonah. So we're looking at a God who can say, peace be still, and a God who can allow things to happen. But in the midst of it all, our faith and confidence should be assured.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what's our weather outlook going into the week?
Well, in terms of weather outlook for us, I'm not looking at any significant change in terms of the dry conditions. And by the way, May closed out, and we didn't even register an inch of rainfall at the airport. Now, how
Wow.
significant is that? Is that is extremely significant because if you recognize that we are coming from April right down into May. Normally, May would have yielded some rainfall by the virtue of the troughs, etc. None of that. And we began the year so great. We began the year almost, let's say, like ahead of it, ahead of time. And April and May just put us back into the slump of a moderate drought, and we don't have that rainfall. And for the next couple of days, I don't see any significant weather producing feature that would impact to give us that level of rainfall. So it's gonna be another dry, hot not couple of days.
But that's
If
not
we do
good
get a little sprinkle,
news.
just a sprinkle.
But that's not
Huh?
good news for the farmers.
It's certainly not good for the yeah, well, let's say it another way. It's certainly not good news for food security because we depend on our rainfall to sustain life, to sustain the crops, etc. So when I say to those individuals that we have to conserve, definitely we have to do that and do so ardently because of the fact that the rains are just not coming. But I can let you into a little secret. I'm being told by our climatologist, Orvin Page, he said to me that Leonard, the climatological forecast is for us to have above normal rainfall between June and August. So if that holds out true, then
Amen.
let's see exactly what plays out.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Definitely. But again, we do need, if even though we don't get the gut type rain, at least the trickle type rain for the farmers, and also a little bit more to sustain our little systems, etc. We want
Absolutely.
to have that going. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, what would be your advice for our people looking into the hurricane season? What should they be expecting? What should they be doing in preparation for the hurricane season?
Yeah. Definitely. That's a big topic. That's a big topic, and I'm so happy that you have given me the opportunity to speak on this because um, the many people would have been listening and would have been hearing that the outcomes or the expectation for the hurricane season is for us to have above normal season. Now, let's first look at what normalcy is. Normalcy is just about like 12 named storms. 12 named storms put us down, I think, close to the letter L or M or, someplace in that region. What we are seeing, however, is the fact that the hurricane season is getting a little bit more of a boost from warmer sea surface temperatures,
Wow.
and also the forecast for an above, let's say, a La Nina type transition. Now, how
When
do those fit together? If you allow me to speak on it right there. Well, the El Nino tends to create what we call shear conditions. Shear means that if we are going one way and the winds in the upper levels are going another way, these two winds actually tear them apart. They actually tear the storm apart. And that's the type of conditions that El Nino presents. Well, if we don't have El Nino and we are heading into a neutral condition, which would tend to go beyond neutral into La Nina, the shear is not there. And the thing that would ultimately kill the storm actually sustains the storm now. So the storms now can grow and grow and grow and grow and become stronger and stronger. So with that La Nina type transition, then we are looking at the potential of us having above normal hurricane activity. Now, here's
wow.
the second part, and the second part is a little bit more dicey. The second part is the warm sea surface temperatures. Those warm sea surface temperatures are present. We have been registering warmer sea surface temperatures for this time as compared to climatology going down. And if I was supposed to actually show you some of the pictures for warmer sea surface temperatures, then you will see from right over Africa right down to the Caribbean, past the Caribbean into the Caribbean Sea, and even into the Gulf of Mexico, there are warmer spots, and those warmer spots are really issue for us to be concerned about right now.
Yes, it doesn't sound good for us. I'm looking in, just a layman listening to your language. I see that we need to brace ourselves for a possible um, active season.
Yeah. Well. Here is a point, my brother. Many people put a lot of emphasis on numbers. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm less for the numbers, and here's the reason why. The numbers tend to sometimes, because many people look at numbers from two extremes. One, from the thrill that it brings to talk about it. Many people seem as though that they have to talk about how we're going to have 20 and 25 named storms, and that seemingly adds a type of thrill to the whole excitement. The other extreme where the numbers actually come in is the fear. Many people who would have gone through category 5 storms and superstorms, when they hear these numbers, they quake in their boots and for fear, and their stress level goes up. But I
Right.
want to look at the numbers in a different way. I want to look at the numbers as a means of information. Information to say to those who are listening to us that, listen here, you need to pay a little bit more attention to your level of preparedness. Because if we not only have one storm, it's bad enough that we can have one storm. But if we have more than one storm, then you certainly would want to have a level of preparedness that would carry you through the season, and more so for you to sustain life. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where I am. So the season looks like a 14 to 20 name storms. And what's even more disconcerting to me is that the same warm sea surface temperature that we had right just to the east of Antigua that fueled Irma, Maria, and Jose, the charts are actually showing that those warmer sea
Wow.
surfaces.
That's not good news. That's not good news. But we're going to trust our God. We're going to trust our God.
No, we got to trust our God that He will carry
Yes.
us through it. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. You know, and by the way, today being the 1st of June actually begins our North Atlantic hurricane season. And when we say Atlantic, we're looking at the all-encompassing area that takes in from Africa right down to the Caribbean, further towards the west, right over into the Gulf of Mexico, right even up to the eastern seaboard, and all that expanse of water out there, right over to England sometimes. All of that water, we are looking at the whole Atlantic Ocean spewing up storms. And the areas that we are looking at are the areas between Africa and the Caribbean as being a hotspot. We're looking at the Caribbean Sea as being another hotspot, the Gulf of Mexico, even a warmer spot. And right now, I can just tell you that as I was getting prepared for tonight, the National Hurricane Center indicated that as of 5 p.m. this afternoon, they will be initiating another tropical cyclone in the Gulf of Mexico, which is tropical depression number 3.
Okay, well, that's further up from us. So
Oh, yeah.
that's the second one. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's way out there, roughly about between 15 and 2,000 miles to the west. So in terms of any impact to us, no, I'm not looking at any impact to us. It's basically of academic interest. But at the same time, we are just getting our feet so warm with the first day of June, and already 2 named storms have gone, and we're looking down the barrel of another one.
Have mercy. Well, it's a pleasure having you this afternoon, just giving us a synopsis into what the hurricane season could be like. And we look forward to hearing from you daily to keep us up to date with what's happening. Because we know as we progress into the season, sometimes these things come fast and furious. Sometimes we could have like 3 and 4 named identified tropical wave or tropical depressions out there between the Atlantic.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for coming on this afternoon.
And before you go, Betty, let me use this opportunity just to say to our brethren that preparedness is just not physical. Preparedness is also emotional, psychological, it's spiritual too, because we have to be in connection with God in order for us to not be so stressed out when we see these things happen. And we can trust in a God who answers our prayers. And if He permits it to come through, be assured that He is with us through the storm. And that's one of the takeaways that I always have as I speak to individuals, yeah, my brethren, that do not fear. If one comes, we are right there to give you all the information that would help you to make the right decisions, and God will be with us to carry it, to alleviate the fear. Just have faith and confidence.
Okay. Thank you very much, and all the best as you go to do your presentation this evening.
Thank you so much, my brother. Tomorrow.
Be blessed. Take care.
Great stuff. Okay, right.
It was a pleasure having you.
Okay, good.